But we could look at the matrix, I guess. I'll do this. It probably won't work because I'll probably drop the phone. It probably won't work. But like I said, that's kind of was my thing all along. I'll do that. I don't know. I don't really like doing this. I'm not really sure what to have everybody to look at while I do it, so I'll just kind of go with it. I think the words that I speak are more important than what you look at anyway. And then my wife and I had 4 kids. So our oldest son is 17. He has discovered freedom of driver's license and a vehicle, which there's some feelings on that. I get to that in a minute. And a girl. And he met the girl during the lower points in my life, my wife's life, is when we temporarily lost custody of our kids to foster care due to situation. And not really going to go too in depth into that. People want me to, you're more than welcome to comment down below, and I'll do a separate video on that. But they came back. He was with the girl. He's been with her for 4.5, 5 months now, and her parents gave him a car to use, and everything seems great. He's happy, but part of our problem is that he grows up too fast, and I guess we're not really ready to let go yet. Really don't get that much say in it, I guess, though, do we? Kind of get a say when they come into the world, and everything up to a certain point, and then it's time to just kind of step back and hope everything you told them and taught them sticks. And you just kind of watch at that point, half holding your breath and hoping they don't fail. It's a hard situation to be in. But more on the point of there's no owner's manual. I mean, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I don't know if I'm saying the right thing. I know that during my course of action, that some of my wrong decisions have, led me down a course of wanting to drink excessively. And my wife, she drank too, and that didn't end well. And that all kind of goes with the story for a separate video if you'd like one. But it's just seems like a lot, really. And so it was kind of an escape from it. And people might not understand that, but it's not an excuse. But the alcohol, at least for me, released dopamine, which helped me feel good. And then I continuously try to chase that feel good. And always quite good. Some pretty dark at times. But during all that, kids never went to bed hungry. Were taken care of. Their needs were met to the best of my ability. And I spent a lot of my life pointing fingers, saying it was there for this person, that person. It was my mom and dad, my grandparents. It was this, it was that. It was, somebody looked at me wrong at the gas station, and kind of rationalizing my behavior. And 46 years old, I realized that really didn't get me very far. It got me 46 years old and wishing I'd done things differently. So, and it's never too late to pick up and go, start over, start fresh, throw everything away, crumple up the paper, and start again. Realize that when you do that, though, the important things that have always been there, you take forward with you. Just because you try again doesn't mean you start completely over. One thing I said to myself was I wanted to be a better dad than my dads were. My dads, listen to me. My father, who awesomely decided when I was 5 years old he didn't want anything to do with me because he didn't want to pay the money that he owed for child support, so he walked away over money. Great guy right there, top-notch fatherhood. And my mom married another guy. They had my sister, and that was an interesting marriage, to say the least. Lasted 13, 14 years, 15 years, somewhere in there. And he left. he blamed her, she blamed him, and nobody was right, nobody was wrong. It is what it is. Tried to have a relationship with him after he went hiding for 17 years. He's so afraid of running into his kids. I don't want to say his kids. He raised me like I was his. So, even though I wasn't biologically his. And he said, well, I've lived this long like I didn't have any kids. So, the point is, I want to be better than that. They set the bar pretty low. But I tried, and I think my older two boys I wasn't quite there. I wasn't quite ready. And so I kind of made the mistake of letting family take over and raise them, which, is what it is. Again, it's one of those things where you make a decision and you hope you can live with it tomorrow. And that's a Mountain Dew can. It's not a beer can. See, I'll show you. Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew. You can't really see it. It's that dirty Mountain Dew. Today I don't know that I made the right or the wrong decision. I did right at some points and wrong at some points, but again, I was trying to be better than what I had. I figured if I stayed away, they wouldn't get too dented or screwed up. Not really thinking through that at some point the family members that raised them would pass away, and here I am. So trying to have a more of an adult relationship with my kids, my older kids. And then a 17-year-old is kind of stuck between he wants to be a kid, he wants to be an adult. Kind of interesting. I've never really been down that road before. And then the younger kids, two more boys and a girl, and they're all awesome. Just trying to do the best I can. So my wife, a lot of people get hard down on her, but she didn't really have a good role model either. Got a very odd childhood, very odd upbringing. That's not my story to tell. I'm not going to tell it, but it's very odd. And I do a lot of thinking sometimes, and sometimes I think that maybe I could say something that would help somebody, or give inspiration or whatever. And the only thing I can tell you is that no matter how bad your day is, no matter how rough, how many times you get beat up over it, kicked down and stepped on and squashed, you can always go to sleep and wake up and try again. It's not a drinking world, it's not a drug world, it's just, you gotta face it. And if it's something you can't face at that time, it's not supposed to be dealt with then. And if it continues to get pushed, like I said, go to sleep, wake up, deal with it then. And if you're not ready, just repeat. But you can't go through life expecting to have all the answers. You can't go through life being afraid to ask for help. You can't really go through life with your hand out either, wanting hand out or hand up or anything like that, because that's not going to work. That's going to make things even harder on you. That's no good. You have to excuse the coughing. A lot of that is due to wanting to quit smoking, and so I'm using these nicotine pouches. The zones and the Zens and all that stuff. It's just a little different, so it kind of chokes me up once in a while. But I was reading a news story today, or yesterday actually, based on the time, about a 17-year-old kid who killed himself. And my cousin was 17 and killed himself too. And I can't help but wonder what life they led, or what they were exposed to at 17, to think that it never got any better, that was it, and that they wanted to check out, because at that age there's so much life left, so many things you didn't do or get to experience or anything. And it just blows my mind that people are ready to just check out. I've been through some dark times. Spent some time in county. Been through some divorces. Been homeless. Lived out of a pickup truck. Lived out of motel rooms night by night. I've had moments where I didn't know where my next meal was coming from. I had moments where I would take bottled water and aluminum foil and heat up ramen on the engine of the truck. I had it running to stay warm in the middle of January. It's, but I never once thought, I don't want to move, I don't want to go on. It's, you always go to sleep, wake up, and who knows what tomorrow will bring. It's a new day. Nothing's set in stone, nothing's guaranteed that it's going to be rough forever, it's going to be great forever. And, in my opinion, a lot of people get disillusioned by that, and they think that, today is it. High school or grade school or friends, or somebody makes fun of them, or I guess cyber bullies them, which is kind of odd. We had bullies when I was younger, and we used to take them out to the flagpole after school. Usually got a couple of days suspension out of it, but you took care of the bully. Now the cyber bully thing, I don't really know how to do that, but I guess my answer to that would be turn off the computer, walk away. Get away from your cell phones. Society needs to go back to where everybody has a flip phone. If everybody wants connection through phones, then get rid of the smartphones, get rid of the pocket computers. You have the whole internet in your pocket. Get rid of that. Get back to a flip phone. Get back to hard type encyclopedias and written work, and get away from the digital era. And life was simpler then. Life seemed simpler when you were amazed that the new cordless phone had a fixed antenna and you didn't have to pull it up when you walk around the house. Life was simpler when, before you got on the internet, you had to go, hey, I need to use the internet. Is anybody on the phone? You really limited your time that you spend on the internet. Now, it's unlimited. Cell phones first came out, you had to pay for ringtones, you only got so many minutes, anytime minutes, and so many text messages. Now, after 7 o'clock at night, weekends, it was free. But everybody carried flip phones. And if it was an emergency or something, you picked up the phone, hit the phone, called real quick, got it out, shut the phone. You didn't want to go over your minutes. Over your minutes, that $40 monthly plan turned into $900 pretty quick. And it was one of those things where you bump the internet button on your phone and you didn't subscribe for it. It was like $10 a minute. You're trying to jerk the battery out of your phone and everything to get it to stop so it didn't connect. It was just a lot simpler time back then than what it is now. And I wish my kids could have grown up then. In that world, it was more colorful. It was more... It probably was just as bad, honestly. We did have the social media, but not how bad it was. I don't know what we would do without social media. I wouldn't be able to know what to do with myself. I don't know what my neighbor's going to have for dinner. Without pictures they put on them. I'm so glad they share that. Take time to take a picture of their plate and put it on there. Refuse to say what they ordered, what they cooked, what they tried to cook, what they want to cook. And walk people through that. There's already a Facebook channel out there. A guy teaches you to be independent. Change your oil, check the fluids, air in your tires, and all that. I don't want to be that guy for everybody. But I want to be that guy for those who are important to me. And like tomorrow, my son is going to go, with my help, do brakes on a car, his car. They've done it for a while. So, hey, you want to walk through here and stuff, you're not going to bother me at all. Go do your thing. I'm just sitting here ranting and rambling and taking up time, I guess. But I don't know. it's just wild. The world that we live in and the world that my kids are being raised in is so far from what I wanted. It's just unreal. My opinion. I didn't drop my phone because mess with the phone case, which has seen better days. And I'm a bit of a fidget guy. I always got to be moving, doing something. So right now, sitting down